So you want to move to Nashville, you want to find the perfect home for you, but that just ain't doing it. Hey, I get it. It's hard to find the home that's exactly what you want in the perfect location for you, in exactly the layout or the style or the design you want at your price point. That's a lot of things to get right. What do you do if you can't put all those pieces together? You've got options. In this video, we're going to talk about build, buy, renovate, or infill. Don't know what infill is? I'm going to share with you exactly what that is, how you can do it, and how you find the perfect property to infill. If that's of interest to you, then you got to stick around. See you on the other side. So I get it. When you come to a new area, you want to find the perfect home. You want it to be exactly right so that once you start unloading those moving vans, you have everything exactly the way you want it and never have to touch a thing. Well, if you've got unlimited funds, you still might have problems finding that because every house is not perfect. But what you do have now when you come into the Nashville area is some really great options. And as a realtor and a retired general contractor, I can put all those pieces together for you. So let's talk about what are your options when you come to Nashville, but you don't find the perfect home in the perfect location at your price point. And I can promise you, if you have $17 million to spend, the homes that you see probably aren't going to be exactly right. So let's talk about what can you do to find that perfect home or create that perfect home over a little time with a little work when you move into Nashville. I'm Susan Thetford with Nashville Redefined. Here on this show, we talk about all things Nashville, buying, building, construction, things to do, places to see. If that's of interest to you, then you need to go ahead and subscribe to this channel. We have a new show every single week, and I don't want you to miss out on anything. And if you have some ideas of what you want to talk about or what you want me to show and share, then please put that in the comments too. You'll be up next. Truly, I mean it. We have so many people reaching out to us, calling, emailing, texting every single week, and I absolutely love it. As a native Nashvilleian, I love sharing my hometown with those who are like-minded, who want to be here, to want to have a family, or to be a part of a community and really enjoy the beauty of nature of what we've got. So if you're considering a move to Nashville or considering now going ahead and investing in Nashville, then I encourage you, go ahead and do what everybody else is doing. Call me, email me, text me, send up those smoke signals. I don't care, but honestly, texting is a whole lot faster if you want to get to me quicker. Go ahead, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer all questions that you've got and share a little bit more insights. So when you're looking at buying a home, we need to find just the basic things that you really want. If you want an acre lot, then let's put that in there. If that's a mandatory gotta have, if it has to be an acre lot, you need at least 2,400 square feet, 2,800, whatever you need. You need at least 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The thing to do is to find everything that's available on the market that fits those numbers. And if you got some non-negotiables, that's where we start. Then we look at all the things that are the non-negotiables, look at every house that's available and see what might be a fit. I will promise you, it's probably not perfect for you. What if we found things that made that playlist but were a good, I don't know, 60 to 100,000 below your price point because it isn't going to be the perfect house, right? And then you use that extra money that you have as cushion to renovate that bathroom the way you want or renovate the kitchen the way you want. If it's the perfect location and the location and the lot size is a non-negotiable, then you've got to find everything that meets those needs first. What that means here in Nashville a lot of times is finding those top things and then finding an older home and renovating to suit your needs. So that might be something when you're searching to consider. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,000 square feet, but a non-negotiable is within a 15-minute drive of downtown, 12-minute drive from my kid's school, whatever that is. I want to find a flat lot. I want to find you tell us what that is. Then once we see everything within your price point, let's drop it back 100 or so. If you want to put in bathrooms, kitchens, I've got the contractors for you. We can probably make the house your own, whether it's now or over time. But to find a great investment so you don't have to move, that's a good option. Renovate. Now, I will tell you that here in Nashville, in my market, I've had people stay in their homes as long as 15 to 25 years. They don't move. So if you find your location in a community that you love, you're not going to move. Let's just make the house perfect for you. And that may be over time. That's okay too, because you're going to change, your family needs are going to change, and if you have options, that's a win-win. The idea for this video came across when someone asked me, how do I find a place to build? How do I find a place to build my new home? And most people don't know. There are no lots available within the older established communities. We're driving through one called Westmead now, which is on the west side of town. It's about a 15-minute drive to downtown. It was developed in the early 60s on very large lots. And as you can see from this one home you're looking at, that home wasn't on a vacant lot in the first place. It would have been one of these ranch homes that someone deemed not good enough to renovate or remodel, but it was priced at a point where they could tear it down and build their dream home. So I mentioned 4 options when you're looking for a home and you've found the non-negotiables. And for many people, the non-negotiable is location and the lot size, the home site size, and the topography of that home site size. I happen to be standing in one of the primo areas of Nashville that you probably have never heard of. It's called Westmead. So much of Nashville, Green Hills, Forest Hills, Oak Hill, then you get over to Hendersonville, major parts of Franklin. So many areas were developed as Nashville kind of grew around the 50s, 60s, 70s, in kind of a slow movement out and then a slow movement back in. When they have the larger lot sizes, those are going to be the older homes. So I've got many people who want to come to Nashville, especially, and have more room to spread out. If that's you, the new construction can be very, very difficult, because the new construction is when large volume builders are coming in. They're buying up a farm, which means it's not sitting right here 15 minutes from downtown Nashville, which is where I am right now. It's going to be a further out. There was more of a rural community. It's going to be a farm. The developer buys and puts in the road, water, and sewer. The cost of all those things is astronomical, plus the land cost. So the lot sizes are very small. So if one of your non-negotiables is I want more yard size, then you're going to need to go into an area more like this and find something that was developed in the 50s, 60s, 70s, a little early, or a little later, a little earlier, but you get the gist. And again, I'm in Westmead. Westmead is not a town, it's an area. It's close into downtown Nashville. But you're gonna find these all over Middle Tennessee. So let's find a home that either can be renovated, like the one we just left, or maybe it just doesn't have good bones, but it's got a beautiful yard. So it has an older ranch home. Now you're gonna find in these areas that are, like I mentioned, great locations, people have often been in them for 25, 30, 40 years. They've raised their children. They even built the homes. They've raised their children, and when it's time to go, maybe those houses haven't even been touched through the years. Well, in that case, it might end up being a tear down. And that's what we call an infill lot. It's in an area where it's completely developed. There are homes on either side, but the home itself does not have great bones, or it's in a situation that people feel like it's something that can be renovated, should be renovated. So they do a tear down. So that's called an infill, inside of a community that's already totally built out, and the house is torn down and new construction built on it. That's typically when you can come in and bring your own builder. You can build a custom home, and there you can either buy a plan book and then reallocate it with draftsmen to work for that lot really well. But that's where you can bring in a custom builder. When you get to the larger developments in some of the outskirts of Franklin and Nashville, when you get into those, what you have is a builder who's bought up all of those lots, and they typically have their own plans, and you can maybe customize things. But for the most part, if you want a custom home, you need to find your own builder, and I can help you with that. Find your own builder, design a home that works on that lot, and go to town. Now, if you do this, it's going to take you a year, maybe a year and a half. Just depends on, how big that house is, how complicated it is. With COVID, again, like throughout the country, it's taking a little bit more time to get things done than it would have even 3 years ago because of lack of inventory, lack of the lumber packages. And it's also going to be hard to price. because prices are going up for every single piece of thing that goes into that house for new construction. But that is an option if you really want a customized house. If that's the case, then let's find you a place to rent for a year, year and a half, while you design, build your dream home. And again, if it's in an area that you love, and those non-negotiables, those things that were the most important to you, location, size, lot size, if those are the most important things to you, it's worth a little imposition, right? So to give you an idea, this is over an acre lot. It is here in Westmead area. This is a development of mostly 50s, 60s homes. Beautiful lot sizes. Now the beauty of this area is it was zoned to be an RS40 area. Residential single family homes, 40,000 square feet lot size or more. So it's at least an acre-ish. And the beauty is it's not going to change. So 100 years from now, unless something really weird happens, there's still going to be one house on this lot, one house on the house across the street, and so on. For maturity, doesn't come cheap, but this home was a home. It was an older ranch home. It sold immediately when it went on the market back in September of last year. It closed right at $470,000. To do that, you typically have about a 4-to-1 ratio. So at 470, y'all know it's going to be about a $2 million house that's here, and it's custom. So they haven't told me how much they're actually spending. But this was an older ranch home. This was sold at $470, and it had competition of those who wanted to renovate it, but there really wasn't much to renovate there. So this would be what we call an infill. They're really fun to do and really hard to find. Find an expert to find you the right home site. Let's head on down the street and take a look at another house that came on the market about 2 weeks ago. Now this house has the potential of being either a renovation or a tear down. We won't know, of course, until it actually closes as to what the people decide to do. But it did have multiple offers when it went on the market. Lots of people wanted it, so it'll be fun to watch. So this home right behind me is just down the street, maybe 7 houses from the one we just saw, which was an infill teardown. Now this house just came on the market about a week and a half ago. It had multiple offers, actually I think 26 offers. It had multiple offers on it, and it's sweet. It's on a beautiful lot, phenomenal location, easy to build on lot, but it's a sweet home. Honestly, I would have suggested to my buyers if they happen to be in this price point and it was right at $500,000. It's over an acre, right at $500,000. Let's make this house be yours. Let's renovate it. But frankly, I think probably the buyer for this home may well be somebody who wanted a custom home for about $2 million. But if I had a $500,000 buyer who could actually go up to $750,000 in a heartbeat, I would suggest come buy this house, renovate it as time you can, and as you have more money, do more of it. But it had cute bones. It had the potential. It had taller ceilings. The one up the street, you know, it really didn't. It had its best potential was to be a tear down because the lot sloped back down the way the house was sitting on it. It was more of a split level, and you just got to see inside each one to know. This house I know had a lot of competition for its purchase, and that competition would have been both for people who really wanted to be in this area at any price point to get here, and then they would renovate as they could afford to or immediately, or it was a tear down. So that was a real competition. How much it sold for, I don't know. Keep in touch. Go ahead and subscribe so that I can share with you exactly what it sold for once it actually closes. 26 offers, it was rough. I would be willing to bet at least about 570-ish. So you can buy the perfect home. If you got all the money in the world, if you can do it, fantastic. You can renovate. That may be the best bet for many, many people, and actually make it your own. So if that's the case, then whatever your budget is, whatever you're pre-approved for, let's back off of it, save $60,000 to $100,000. If you're willing to do kitchens and baths, let's back off of that. Find homes that fit that number, save that money, renovate. Then you can go ahead and get a permanent financing once you're finished up. Got the subs, got the people who can do the work for you. We just got to know what the whole scope of the work is. Or build that custom home. Buy, build, infill, renovate, lots of options. We just got to know, what are your lists? And tell me, I would love to know, what is your list of non-negotiables when it comes time to buying your next home? Mine would be location and potential and beautiful lot with great trees. Those are my hot buttons. What are yours? I'd love to know what they are. Put them in the comments. Nashville truly is a wonderful place to live. Do what everybody else is doing. Call me, text me, email. Let's talk. Let's find out what you can do. Let's find out your dreams and then work together to make that happen. Susan Thedford, till next week or next time. Be blessed.